begin.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Did you guys hear about Putin offering asylum in Russia to people persecuted by fucking Keir Starmer and his retarded Islamophobia laws? Like, that was fucking hilarious. First of all, Islam's a religion and political ideology. It's not a race. It's a religion that has no separation of church and state, basically, so you get an Islamic theocracy. In addition to that, obviously the values are extremely different. Honor killing, child marriage, terrorism, that sort of deal, right? Fucking Putin has gone out on a limb and offered asylum in Russia to people persecuted for criticism of Islam by retarded Keir Starmer and his evil Stasi government. Which was absolutely funny as fuck. Like, I'm not a big fan of Putin personally, because, you know, big sort of extended quasi-civil war with Ukraine. It's completely unnecessary. In that war, you've got like a ton of war crimes happening. You've got torture committed by both sides. One side, the Ukrainian side's got Nazis on it. Russia's bombing not only infrastructure, such as like energy and water infrastructure and that sort of deal, essentially meaning people will die of thirst and unsanitary conditions and all that sort of thing. Typhus, because, you know, there'll be poo in the water from like lack of sewage treatment, lack of clean water, and obviously it's Russia-Ukraine area, so freeze to death in the winter, so it's like all fucking horrible, right? His extended civil war is pretty much on Putin as well. Like, a lot of the so-called, what would you say, provocations that Putin's put forward about, like, NATO and all that sort of deal, not minding borders with Russia and all that sort of deal, when both of them were by proxy interfering with the Ukrainian elections. Like, it's absolutely silly, right? Which makes it even more embarrassing for the West, that Putin actually has a fucking point when he brings up Starmer. Starmer is such a fucking embarrassment to the free West with his stupid fucking persecution online of speech. His radical leftist ideologue persecution of speech. Like, he's such a fucking embarrassment that he's given Putin legitimacy by offering asylum to people persecuted by Keir Starmer's government. That's how bad Keir Starmer is. That's how much of a scumbag piece of shit he is. He's legitimized fucking Putin. And Putin's a man essentially fighting a fucking civil war with horrible war crimes. Mind you, London's not better than... how many more stabbings has there been? There's been at least 2 stabbings since the riot started, right? How many more? And like the people saying, oh, it wasn't a first generation immigrant, it was a second generation immigrant. Your point's invalid. Still a fucking immigrant. Mass immigration's been going on for a while. Like, look at Nigeria, look at Kashmir during the Kashmir Wars, look at Bangladesh, look at Africa. Like, Armenian genocide, Greek genocide, Assyrian genocide, every war Islam has been in, it's attacked civilians directly. We're not talking about bombing of infrastructure and that sort of deal to reduce war capacity. No. Like, we're not talking about, you know, one-to-one with the West on Dresden, yada yada yada, equivalency. No. Attacking civilians directly with terror attacks. fucking very, very different. Yeah, very different morally speaking. Also, gotta point out, Islam, it's not a race, so all this call of racism and far-rightness and all that sort of stupid shit, it's not a fucking race. Every time you say racism, it makes you look even more fucking stupid, you stupid fucking leftists. Mind you, they're in power, so they're gonna persecute people for it, aren't they? Yeah, like as stated before, I have no issue with Arabs, no issue with Christian Arabs, I should say, but any ideology that legitimizes child marriage, terrorist attacks, persecution of gays, persecution of Christians, persecution of Jews, violence in the street, beating and burning a man to death in Pakistan for desecrating the Quran. Like, any religion that legitimizes that, unironically, and makes no excuses for itself, legitimizing that, is a fucked religion. Just outright. It needs some sort of reform. Like, it's fucking barbaric. It gets worse. They, like, defend Muhammad with violence when he was like had a child marriage, and the woman he was in the marriage with was underage for like a decade. So yeah, about a decade of pedophilia there. But like, you better respect him or we'll come and behead you. Like, and now you've got the British UK government under Starmer giving them even more defence and legitimacy. I gotta say, Putin took the win on this one. He's in the right. If you're getting persecuted by the UK government, they're looking at jail time. Apparently it was revised down from 3 years, it's now only 18 months in prison for criticism of government and chanting "Who the F is Allah." I guess that was under some sort of vague, retarded hate speech thing with some claims of racism, despite Islam not being a race. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking retarded leftist nightmare in fucking Britain and the UK at the moment. Go to Russia. Putin's offering you asylum. Hey, look, you'll probably have to fight in the Russia-Ukraine war, but hey, it's probably better than being in prison with, Islamists. Like, unsegregated from Islamists, because, you're a far-right evil ideologue, according to the retarded fucking leftist pieces of shit that put you in prison for nothing. Yeah. Go to Russia. Take your chances in Russia. Hey, you maybe won't get conscripted. Who knows? You maybe won't get conscripted to fight the Russia-Ukraine war. I mean, they're not doing much at the moment anyway. It's kind of settled out into like a trench stalemate with Russia bombing infrastructure in Ukraine. But yeah, it's probably in your best interest to go to Russia.
Oh my god. And how bad is that that's actually just a legitimate recommendation? You might be better off in Russia than in the West. How's that for a recommendation? How fucked is Starmer that he's made that the truth? Oh my god. Oh dear. Oh dear. And look, there's gonna be more stabbings as well. Yeah, there's been 2, not mass stabbings, but what is a mass stabbing? Is a mass stabbing like 3 or more? There's been like two and wounded stabbings since the riot started. So, I mean, there's going to be more stabbings. Every stabbing from now until probably some sort of election, Starmer is probably just going to outright ignore. He's probably just going to ignore those stabbings and the complicit media are probably going to hold his water because, you know, state-funded media, TV licenses, etc. How fucked is Britain at the moment? Like, that's fucking Orwell's nightmare, isn't it? Not only is it fucked, you're getting put in prison for speech, politically persecuted. Stalin's using his fuck-ups through mass immigration to justify further totalitarian measures such as facial ID. He's not letting a good crisis go to waste. And now the supposed bad guy is Russia. Are the good guys in regards to this. I mean, they did live through communist totalitarianism, the Russians. Putin did actually reform it a bit. You know, post-Stalin, post-KGB, during all the glasnost and everything. Like, Putin was originally in the KGB. Like, to put it into perspective, like, that was not the one during Stalin's time under Beria, but it was sort of the successor to the NKVD. And obviously it all got warped back under Gorbachev, glasnost and all that sort of deal. But yeah, Putin and the Russians are now the good guys when it comes to Britain and the UK. Thanks to Keir Starmer and Labour and their retarded leftist communist ideology.
The game.